So how many of you are running into clients, potential clients, who want to refi, but their situation is the rates are not good and they can't really justifiably refi? Does anybody run into those situations? Quite a few of people of my other clients are telling me that, number one. But they still need help in getting out of debt. Do you know what I'm talking about? Right? Okay, they still need help in getting out of debt, right? Okay, so let me see. I'm going to actually have a friend who's going to show you. How many of you are familiar with the debt snowball from Dave Ramsey? I know Julie Johnson is teaching the same thing as well, right? Okay, so let me see. I thought he was in the waiting room. Let me just check here. So anyway, so okay, he's already here. Is Jerrelle here?
Yes.
Oh, Jerrelle, you are here. Okay, there you are. Hi, meet my good friend Jerrelle Borden.
Hi, everybody.
And, yeah, so Jerrelle used to be a real estate agent. He's now in financial services. He's somebody I closely know and work with. He's somebody I trust tremendously. And so give your 30-60-second commercial or whatever you want to tell people about you, Jerrelle.
Awesome. Well, what's up, everybody? I would say good evening. I'm excited to be on. It's always an honor and privilege when Manesh asked me to speak. Like Manesh, I used to be a realtor. Did real estate back in 2017. Did it for about a year and a half. And then, as you guys know, COVID happened. And so I live in Michigan, unfortunately. So in Michigan, COVID shut us down for a little bit. So I ended up getting a financial license. And now I'm able to help families with their finances. I know Manesh was talking a little bit about debt stacking and debt snowballing, but now just teach families how to become financially independent and just educate them on money and finance.
Exactly. So thank you, Jerrelle. Now, Jerrelle, just for your information, Julie Johnson, who's my good friend and who's their team leader, branch manager, and regional leader, is somebody who is already practicing this. She's doing very well, but she also teaches all her employees to do the same thing as well, which is fantastic. So what he will show you, all of you would understand what he's showing you. But the reason to bring here is that you might have people who are prospects, clients that you want to help. And you're like, I don't have the time to help these people. At that time, you can have somebody like Jerrelle help you out. Doesn't cost them anything. Obviously, Jerrelle does sell insurance and other stuff, which is totally in line with what Julie and Rick and other people teach. But the more important part is you are providing value without having to provide your time. Is that making sense to you what I'm talking about? There's quite a few of my clients, loan officers, are like, Manesh, I'm trying to talk some people out of debt loan refi because the situation will not be better for them. Well, in that case, if they can get a free game plan on getting out of debt, why would that be a bad deal for them, right? So just for 5 minutes, could you just show us, I think I gave you, let me see, you should have security, so you should be able to share your screen. Just show them, basically, if you have already prepared some, what do you call, possible debt scenario with a mortgage, couple of cars, couple of credit cards, and then, because I don't want to go through the typing in part of it, just show them, hey, this is what it is. This is what the result would be if they followed a plan. Again, I don't think we'll need more than 5 minutes for that.
Yes, hold on 1 second. Let me see if I could share.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So there we go. So Manesh, I have an example from the brochure.
Okay, that's good enough. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Let me move this stuff out the way. Okay, can you guys see this okay? Oh, let me change this. Hold on, my view. Okay, cool. Can you guys see this okay? Perfect. All right, awesome. Well, I'm excited to kind of share a little bit of this with you guys. I know it sounds like Vanessa says you guys have someone great in Julie that's already kind of teaching you guys this when it comes to debt stacking and debt snowballing. And so, like Vanessa mentioned earlier, we do it complimentary. And the reason why we do it for free is because, most individuals now, what 70% of full-time workers are paycheck to paycheck. And even though they're looking for financial advice, they can't afford to get help. And so we just say, hey, if we can put together a plan that makes sense for you and your families, we just ask that you be open to looking at it. And if we're able to make some improvements, then we just ask that you move forward with our recommendations and then just send referrals so that way we can help other people spread the word and teach people how to pay off debt. And so this is just kind of a quick example of debt stacking or debt snowballing, which most of you have heard. Dave Ramsey teaches it, right? The most way that we learned growing up, at least myself, I learned was debt shotgunning, where you pay your debt when you can, and if you could pay a little bit of extra, like mom's always told me, put a little bit extra towards it. And so when we sit down with the family, Jessica, we look at their finances, whether they have, as you see in this example, this client has a couple credit cards, a car loan, another credit card, and a mortgage. And so what we'd say, Jessica, say, hey, pay the minimums, right? By any means, I'm telling you not to pay your bills, just pay the minimums on your bills like you have been doing. And then once we free up money, we'll take that extra and stack them on top of each other. So like in this example, it kind of shows you this client, retail card 1, they're paying $220, $353 for credit card 2, car loan $551, so on and so forth, right? And so the minimum, the total debt that they're paying on a monthly basis is $2,720, right? And so as they're paying the minimums, once retail card 1 is paid off, they freed up an additional $220. So Courtney, if I were to ask you, what do most people do when they free up money?
They usually go spend it on something else.
Correct, right? They spend it. So see, Courtney, I didn't tell you I was going to pick on you. I just see your face in front of me, right? But most people spend it. And so would it be fair to say, hey, Courtney, is this client still in debt?
Yeah, he'd still be in debt because he would just keep spending whatever he was not paying on a credit card.
Correct. Perfect. So what we tell people, Courtney, you say, hey, instead of spending it towards something else, take that payment. Now that we free it up, take the $220 and stack it onto the next credit card. So now you pay $353 plus the $220. So your new payment is $573, and you continue to pay the minimums on everything. And as you see, you just continue that cycle until what? Till all your debts are paid off. And so Courtney, I know I'm gonna pick on you. I appreciate you participating too. But by looking at something like this, do you see any fees?
No.
Correct. Because we don't charge anything. We do it for a price no one bigger at. We do it for free. All we're doing is getting in front of families and teaching them how to pay off their debt based off their current budget, right? So everybody's budget looks a little bit different, but we look at ways to pay people's debt off so that way it can free up disposable income. And so when you look at this over here, Courtney, before I sit down with a client, if they just continue to pay debt like they have been doing, if you don't show them like the debt snowballing or debt stacking like Dave Ramsey teaches us, this client's in debt 23 years. And they paid over $214,000 in interest.
Jeez.
Which is a lot, right? Just by applying this debt stacking concept, this client's out of debt in 9 years, which is 14 years sooner. And they saved over, I mean, they paid over $83,000 in interest. So they saved $130,000. That's like another house these days, right? Especially with everything's going on. And what do you know about the payments?
It still stays the same.
They're still the same. So we didn't change the way they're spending their money. All we did is reallocate the way they're spending their money, made it make sense for them. And then here's the next thing, Courtney. When they take those debts, when they're paid off, if they invest that same debt payment and they put into some type of a mutual fund until age 67, by the time they retire with a given rate of return of 9%, they have $2.4 million saved.
Jeez.
And if I'm half right, 1.2 million.
Right.
Right. And so I just want to share this with you guys. Again, that's how we help families. So, there's a lot of, especially with things going on right now with inflation and things that are more families are looking for ways to cut back and just, budget their money so that way they can have money for groceries or just the simple things in life, even gas. Right. And so we just show people a way to pay off their debt quicker using their budget, give them a sense of hope, give them a sense of confidence. Say, hey, you know what? We're going to help you weather the storm and we're in it together.
Exactly. Jerrelle, that was awesome. That was as fast as furious. My goodness, you are good at what you do, obviously. Anybody has any quick question for Jerrelle? And Jerrelle, can you put your information in the chat?
Yes.
Okay. So how many of you run into potential clients or clients that you would love to help, but really right now with their situation, with the rates, with the equity they have, maybe you can't help them right now. And now you can refer them to somebody, and you may have somebody of your own that you can refer to. It doesn't have to be Jerrelle, obviously, but Jerrelle is somebody I know, I trust, I work with him, so I know very well. It's like, yeah, he will not take advantage of the clients, but you could refer them to a resource who can put together a plan to help people get out of debt. Some people, before they buy a house, they need to put their debt in structure. Some people, they have bought a house, but they haven't done a good job of managing their debt. They could use a game plan like that. So how many of you see some value in being able to refer, helping some people be in a better place financially speaking? How many of you see that value? Okay, good, fantastic. And if you happen to be one of those who just want to test it out, meet with Jerrelle yourself, and get that. So Jerrelle, I'm sure he's put his information there. So Jerrelle, thanks for taking the time. And I know you're busy, so we will let you go there, but thanks for taking the time to educate us very quickly here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. You guys have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good. So now you have another tangible way of adding value. You see where I'm coming from?